Hello and welcome back to my lockdown haircut. It's a transformation, right? It's a bit different considering the last time you saw me, this part of my body was like 85% hair. It's because it was getting a bit hot and uncomfortable. So my partner, she very kindly took the dog shears to my head, and I'm serious, she used the dog shears. There's no attachment, so she had to kind of hover to get it even. But I think it's turned out pretty good, if you ask me. And since I've had my hair cut off because it was warm, the weather's gone shit, so you can thank me for that. But that's not why we're here. Today we are continuing our playthrough of the 1995 season on the original Formula 1 game, a game I've never completed, and I'm doing it with Jean Alesi because I think he deserved better in Formula 1, so we are working together to improve our respective records. Now, if you've missed rounds 1 and 2, there are links in the description. Link to round 2 will be flying out above my head right now. Both really good races, interesting moments in both. But today we are going to a track that is a classic in the Formula 1 calendar. We are going to Imola for the San Marino Grand Prix. My name's Ash. This is the Outside Line. So, these are the standings after 2 rounds. We lead the World Championship after our unexpected win in Argentina. Alesi, Hill and Schumacher all had to fight through the pack. We did it best and got the win and take the lead. We've only scored for Ferrari, no help from Gerhard Berger, so we are starting to fall behind Williams and Benetton, but we are at least in touch. Still all to play for. Round 3 next.
Welcome to Imola for the San Marino Grand Prix 1995.
Oh, okie dokie. So, it's raining again. Which might be good for us, considering what happened last time. It's be a good chance to find out if the AI were randomly slow in Argentina, or if they're just always slower in the wet. We'll get some answers now. At least with Imola, I'm more familiar with the track. Why do I even speak? Why? Massive Mackey sign there on the right hand side, lovely stuff. Also another chance to test the theory if we'll see different weather in different sessions across the weekend, or if we're just going to see rain again the whole time. First raced here in 1980, but not as the San Marino Grand Prix. It actually was a stand-in for Monza, the only time that Monza has not hosted the Italian Grand Prix. Monza was being refurbished. I think a lot of it was to do with updating for modern safety standards, or modern at the time. But it was such a popular race. Formula 1 went back in 1981 as the San Marino Grand Prix and raced there until 2006, when the contract wasn't renewed. Now, in terms of the race we're going to be replaying, the 1995 San Marino Grand Prix was notable, if only for the fact as a result of what happened in the 1994 San Marino Grand Prix. So, after a weekend full of accidents and the deaths of Roland Ratzenberger and Ayrton Senna, from there, massive safety changes started to come into the sport. So the 1995 San Marino Grand Prix, as a result, was the first ever run with this track layout, the layout that they had changed as a result of those deaths last year. So there are 3 new chicanes, one of which I'm going through now at Tamburello, the next one up here at Villeneuve, and the third one is basically the final chicane before you cross the finish line. Now, once again, time for my obligatory setup check in the pits. Oh, pit straight on. If I can remember where the pits are. Whoops, okay. And what I did this time was knock the downforce down. Yes, it is still raining, but it's a much faster track by comparison, so I thought that would help. We'll see how that goes. Now, as always, there are links in the description if you want to skip ahead to qualifying and the race itself. But first, you're going to notice a new name on the grid this weekend in the form of Nigel Mansell. Now, what is a 41-year-old former world champion doing making his debut for McLaren at the 3rd round of the championship? Well, that's an interesting story, as is McLaren's 1995 driver lineup as a whole. After the awful events of San Marino 94, F1 was seen as a sport in crisis and was under pressure to increase safety while maintaining spectacle. Also, since the accident, Williams had been running test driver David Coulthard alongside Damon Hill, and both Hill and Williams were competing for championships. So F1 Supremo Bernie Ecclestone saw an opportunity in former champion Nigel Mansell. Mansell had left the sport as world champion at the end of '92 and became kart IndyCar champion in 1993, but in '94 he was suffering from a less reliable car and he wanted to come back to the sport. Bringing Mansell back was a good news story that would bolster Williams' efforts in securing the triple-double, add a former world champion to the grid in a bid to increase TV ratings, and in Ecclestone's opinion give Michael Schumacher a worthy adversary. So, Ecclestone helped to get Newman Haas to release Mansell for the French Grand Prix and the final 3 races of the '94 season. The head of F1 bringing back a former champion for publicity. You wouldn't see that today, would you? While Mansell's first 2 races ended up in retirement, by the Japanese Grand Prix he was starting to get up to pace, duelling with our boy Alesi on his way to finish 4th. At the final race of the season at Adelaide, he'd take pole in a rain-affected qualifying and go on to win the race after Hill and Schumacher had their iconic collision, helping Williams to at least secure the Constructors' title in the process. Now, Williams had an option on Mansell for the 1995 season, and Mansell was sure he'd be fighting for a second world title with them. However, Williams went for youth over experience and picked Coulthard for the seat alongside Hill. Money also may have played a part in that decision, as Mansell was reportedly paid £900,000 per race for Williams in 1994. Damon Hill, on the other hand, missed out on the world title by just 1 point, and he was only paid £300,000 for the entire season. I say only paid £300,000, that's still a binful, but you know what I mean. By this point, Mansell was 41 years old and without a drive, so surely this would be the end of his career. Fortunately, McLaren's primary sponsor, Marlboro, wanted a world champion driving their car. McLaren didn't as much, as they were going through a rebuilding period. After losing Honda engines at the end of 1992, Ford engines in '93 saw them a distant second, and in '94 they had Peugeot engines, which was shit. So for 1995, Mercedes returned to the sport for the first time since 1955 as McLaren's engine supplier. Despite McLaren and Mercedes preferring a lower profile driver, tobacco money won, unsurprisingly, and Mansell got the seat. All he had to do was sit in it. Slight problem, he couldn't. When McLaren designed the MP410, its slim design was drafted using Mansell's teammate Mika as a model. Mansell completed a seat fit at the factory with no problems, but when it came to pre-season testing at Estoril, he couldn't fit. It's worth mentioning that while Häkkinen could fit, he also complained that the car was too narrow, as while driving, his hands and elbows would hit the sides of the cockpit. As a result, Mark Blundell, who to date had 3 F1 podiums and a Le Mans win under his belt, would take Mansell's place for the first 2 Grand Prix, while McLaren hastily redesigned the car. In San Marino, Mansell made his debut in the MP410B, the B presumably standing for bigger. Qualifying 9th, 3 places behind teammate Häkkinen, he would collide with Eddie Irvine in the race, forcing him to pit, and finish 10th, while Häkkinen finished 5th. Unfortunately, that's as good as it would get for Mansell. In the next round at the Spanish Grand Prix, he would qualify 10th, and only drive 18 laps before retiring the car, complaining of poor handling, and retiring from F1 once and for all. At the time, Mansell said he didn't just want to make up the numbers, but later said that in hindsight he was wrong to leave so soon and should have stayed to help the team develop the car. In his absence, Mark Blundell would return to drive for the rest of the season. But what about Häkkinen? A rising star in the sport, he managed 4 points finishes, including 2 second places, but his season was disrupted by 9 retirements, and he, like Blundell, would end up only competing in 15 out of 17 races. He would miss the Pacific Grand Prix due to an appendicitis operation, handing a debut to Jan Magnussen. For newer fans, yes, that's K-Mag's dad. And he would also miss the final race of the season in Adelaide for slightly more terrifying reasons. In Friday qualifying, he would suffer a tyre failure, become airborne and crash sideways into a barrier at an estimated speed of 120 miles per hour. He had a suspected skull fracture and required emergency surgery trackside to save his life. He would naturally miss the race, with McLaren only running one car for the event, but make an incredible recovery to return at the next Australian Grand Prix when it opened the 1996 season. Regardless of the instability of their driver lineup, McLaren's season was probably more hampered by the shortcomings of the car. Also, it was ugly. But fortunately for McLaren, Mercedes and Mika, better times were coming. Okay, into qualifying we go, and on pole in real life was Michael Schumacher. Then in second place, Gerhard Berger. So our teammate in real life had an absolute stormer. In fact, I think he was only like 7 or 8 thousandths off the pole time. Alesi qualified down in 5th behind the two Williams of Coulthard and Hill. Hakkinen was 6th and rounded out the top 6. English. So, rain again. I'm starting to think we are just going to have, full on rain throughout a whole weekend or dry weather throughout a whole weekend. I think that's how it's going to be. So far, whoever got pole in real life has gotten pole in the game. So at the minute, it's Schumacher, that seems right. I read online that the game follows the real life grids in the dry, but not in the wet. Which, if you remember the grid from last time, which was mental, that seems to be true. Okay. Oh, mate. So Hill is on a 129.8, and I did a 140.8 in practice. That is absolutely atrocious. I could be at the back here. Why can I not do this? How can I be fine not knowing Argentina, but then know him? Like, what is going on? Right, this is going to be better than our practice time. So 10 seconds away, 16th. So the field spread might come to our aid a little bit here. Now I decided, because of my instability through all the corners, I decided to knock the downforce up one notch, so we were back dead centre to see if that improved anything. Oh! Whoops. What is that? It's a Benetton. That might be Schumacher. I can stick with him for a bit. Might see where I'm losing. I might be losing time there, to come to think of it. Yep, that's this now. Is that a Williams? Do you want to go past? It is a Willie. It feels like a long qualifying session because it's so bad. It's all so bad. That's a huge cut. I'm like 5 seconds behind usually. I mean, I'm 3.5 now, perspective, but still, that's... And little did I know this would be the last of my 12 laps, so if I was going to improve, it had to be now. I don't mess it up now, this can at least be an improvement. That's better. Towards the line. Oh, wow. Am I glad that happened? So, the starting lineup is Schumacher on pole from Damon Hill in second place. Heinz-Harald Frentzen, an incredible third place in the Sauber. What the hell is this game? The two Simtex are 4th and 5th. We are 6th as Jean Alesi. Badoa is in 7th. Deniz in 8th. Johnny Herbert's in 9th. Gerhard Berger qualifies in 10th. My two nearest championship rivals are first and second on the grid, so they are not having to fight through traffic. We are behind them. The plus side is, between us are cars we should hopefully dispatch pretty easily in the form of the two Simtex and Frentzen in the Sauber. So, in real life, second place, good old Jean Alesi. It was a really good weekend for Ferrari. This Berger was fighting for the win, and then he stalled in the pit lane and ended up finishing third. So it was a Ferrari 2-3. Could we now finally improve Jean Alesi's win record? It's an okay start. We're immediately gaining on the... Oh, I'm boxed in by the Simtex. Jos Verstappen with a classic move. And Verstappen's got past his teammate. Right, let's get... Oh, no. Oh, dear. No, that was a bad start, believe it or not. Oh, and we're behind Johnny Herbert. Oh, dear. This has gone badly. Herbert's trying to make a move. I don't feel comfortable at all. Come on. Straight line speed on the Simtex, though, will help us. Right, we're back to where we started. Up behind Johnny Herbert. We're going to make a move up here. And we're through. That was good. Okay, is this Verstappen, I'm assuming? And we are immediately losing touch with our championship rivals. But again, oh my god, this game, how have they got there in qualifying? Their straight line speed is abysmal. Okay, I'm up to fourth now. And immediately you can see Hill and Schumacher kind of going off away from Frentzen in third. Getting a Red Bull livery on the podium before it was cool. I'm a bit of a Heinz-Harald Frentzen fan. In the last race, he qualified 25th and finished 10th, so I would love to see him get some points. Not more points than me though, so bye-bye now. Bye-bye. I've not mentioned this before actually, but the performance levels of the cars are supposed to be reflective of 1995. So, Williams and Benetton are supposed to be the quickest, followed by Ferrari and McLaren. So, pretty much straight line speed, we would be better than everyone else. Just better than the McLarens. And... oh, my word. And we should be kind of a little bit down on power compared to the Williams and the Benetton, but once again, in the wet, we seem to have the measure of them. Nearly messed that up. Oh, going past Hill, but we are ahead of him. Schumacher leads. Hill is still there. That spray is awful. Okay, so I still feel like I've got the measure of these two in these conditions, especially on straight line speed. But they're certainly not pushovers. Oh my god. I've got that very wrong. Jeez. At the minute, it's the spray that's throwing me off. Because I'm kind of closing in on them with straight line speed for whatever reason. Be it maybe slipstream or just, I don't know, the way I've got the car set up. Not sure. But when I get just about close to them and I'm in the spray, I feel weird about making a dive. Might get back past Hill though on this one. Round we go. That was decent there. Nice and clear. Oops. The thing is, if I do get on the grass and spin round, it is a lot of time lost. And also, like I say, you can lose lose your wings on this game and lose all your downforce. And because we've got it set up as sprint races, yeah, you don't want to waste that time in the pits because no one else is going in there. Berger, 6th though, that's good. He's yet to score for us this season, so good to see him in the points. That might give Ferrari a chance in the Constructors. At the minute, we've set the fastest lap. Again, there's definitely some tomfoolery though, a definite quirk of the game, because there's no way. Oh, Schumacher's hit me. Oh, he's hit me. But but we're through. That's contentious. I kind of looked and then thought to back out, but it was too late, and now Hill's all over Schumacher. Well, I kind of want to watch what's going on there, but I should probably watch where I'm going. Oh, no. No, it's happened immediately. No. And I've been punted around. Oh. Oh, dear. Right, okay, we've got a race on our hands now. Jeez. Is that Frentzen? That looks like a Sauber. I've not been paying much attention. I've been kind of... Wow, okay. That's... I'm not even sure I lost then. I wasn't on the curb. Maybe I took too much of the curb on the inside, but it just started to go around. Nearly saved it, and then... unsafe rejoin. I just got punted round. 5 laps to go to try and get back in the podium. And it's Herbert. Bloody hell, Herbert's had an incredible recovery. And Benetton are probably looking at championship lead, Constructors' championship lead. Anyway, as I was saying before that happened, in the wet we are definitely benefiting from a quirk of the gameplay. Like I say, they're on the hardest setting. My qualifying time was 5 seconds slower. And that was what, 1:36? At the minute, 1:42 is the fastest lap set by me. Oof. I just get a bit twitchy when I get close to them. Right, we have at least caught up to Herbert, and you can see the top 2 there. Could still win this race. Oh, 1:39 there. I'm going for it past Herbert. Got the run on him. Oh, that's all. Oh, no, not again. Oh, for crying out loud. Come on. This is why they take it slow. They don't make these mistakes. They don't push it and make these mistakes. They are just consistent, but slow. I would say too slow in terms of realism, but still. Let's just take it calm and not make mistakes. It's going to be another mad wet race. I wonder if this is going to be most of our season, you know, because in real life, in 1995, I think there were nine wet races out of the 17. And I think, was it 4? 4 of them were red flagged on the first lap. That was a bit... Another contentious overtake. Lap 6. Lap 7. We've had 6 laps. I'm going to shut up. Oh no! How do I keep doing this? All I need to do is just consistently drive. Now, as you can see, my picture has just disappeared again. I've not hit the record limit, but my battery died on the camera. I had fully charged it as well. I'm clearly not good at this video making stuff. Glad it's not my day job. Anyway, I've still got my audio, so let's get back to the chase. I was in the lead. All I had to do, same drill as Argentina, was keep it on the track. And I have now gone off the road 3 times. Schumacher leads by 1.8 from Hill. That's out of date now, again. But we are chasing Johnny Herbert. Frentzen behind us. Berger currently in 6th, hopefully going to score some points of his own. Schumacher opening out a lead now. We are falling back. But incredibly, after a few corners of not throwing it off, I was right with him. Let's overtake Johnny Herbert again. This time, let's try and stay ahead of him. Hill is just up the road. I'm not doing it past the chicane. We're going to follow through the chicane and go down. Next left-hander. Got the run again. Round the outside. Lovely, lovely stuff. Same place again past Herbert. That was much more like it. Now, I'll tell you what, there's supposed to be 2 seconds between them. It certainly doesn't look like it. They look pretty close together. Back into the podium positions. 1 place down on our objective. Oh, hang on. It's not. It's a back marker. It's a 40 Ford. And this can change things massively. Because while I may not be the most proficient at getting past the back markers, the AI leaders aren't either. They can get held up as well, which might give us a chance to reel in both of them. I just need to not be such a silly boy. Is one of these Damon Hill? I think it is. I think he's being held up. Oh, and oof, I think they must have hit through there. Thank you, whoever you are. Because Damon Hill, liking this corner, going to move out, going to brake. Move done, and we are through. The gap is 5.7 seconds up to Michael Schumacher. I think he might be too far ahead. Oh no! Oh, you are... No! This isn't real. Oh my god! I need a moment just to process my own stupidity. I cannot believe I finished 4th there. That should have been a win. That should have been a win, and that wasn't even bad luck Alesi, that was me. So Schumacher wins from Hill, from Herbert, Alesi 4th, Rubens Barrichello scores for Jordan in 5th, Berger in 6th, Frentzen just drops out of the points. We get the fastest lap, but quite frankly, who gives a shit? How does that affect the championship? Costly mistakes. Michael Schumacher takes the lead of the championship. Hill in 2nd, we are in 3rd. Johnny Herbert's up to 4th behind Coulthard. And Benetton now take the lead of the Constructors' Championship. Williams in 2nd. We are in 3rd. It is now a true team effort now that Berger has scored, but it could have been a completely different story. An absolute show. Next time we are in Spain for what I hope will be a dry race, because honestly, even if I'm quick in wet weather, I don't care anymore. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, drop us a like, it helps grow the channel. And if you enjoyed it and want to see how the series turns out, please do subscribe. I have no idea. I feel like I can do it, but, you know, must try harder.